From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Wakers, pearls, and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance, it was resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. To form the Venus nightly, never free from the deck. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm's speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. Can reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan, now there's crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tent that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined where was next. Temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the largest to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double the inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right, this is and you are Under the Groove. Welcome everybody. I'm getting a late start, but it's all good. Here I am, and as the saying goes, there you are. All right, now I'll explain right quick why I'm so late. Got family here, it's a holiday, you know, but I thought that it's still imperative that I touch bases with the people. Just drop in for a hot second, maybe an hour or so. All right, so work with me, you know, be in agreement with this, you know, let's work together. All right. Yeah, I thought it was necessary to just drop in. I didn't see everybody Friday. We didn't tap in, you know, had a lot going on. The same still applies. It's another day, man. New day, different toilet. You know what I mean? So same old shit though, you know. Come on in here. Let's do what we do. All right, let's do what we do. I got a few things I want to drop on the people, you know, to bring the people in, bring them abreast of what's happening, you know, around us, not just in our communities. See, we tend to get stuck on the fact that, okay, it's just us in our community. No, man, it's a whole get out of our people going through a gang of BS at the and it's done at our expense. You know, no one else is experiencing what we are experiencing. Not even close. All right, not even close. But that I was about to say that's neither here nor there, but the fact of the matter is it is, you know what I mean? Yet in spite of that, we continue to, you know, move on, groove on, push on, let it do what it do. I hate to say it like this because it sounds like, you know, this is a thing we are accustomed to. In a lot of ways we are, but man, we're used to this shit. You know, I think the objective though is to get out of this trick bag that we call normalcy. You know what I mean? There ain't nothing normal about this shit. You know, let's attack this shit as we should, as we supposed to. That being said, again, there's a lot going on in the world. I'm noticing social media is up in this they having this hissy fit, you know, about one brother who had a podcast was, you know, I don't know if he's a major figure or whatnot. You know, I met the brother once. And from that moment I met him to now, things had changed. You know, he went a different route. You know what I mean? Anyway, something occurred where this brother has been apprehended, you know, detained and arrested by the people, and everybody, oh, blah, blah, blah. Look, man, we're missing the point. We're not focusing on, again, when we make these beds or we line these beds, When we get up, we got to make them up. You know what I mean? You know, hey, you make the bed, you sleep in it. You know, a lot of us brothers, or a lot of our brothers, don't seem to get that point. Don't seem to get that point. So every day, man, a lot of these channels who are that exist and are pushed, hosted by our brothers, continue to dispense or disseminate the same BS. A lot of them go out of their ways to talk about things they shouldn't, you know, and then they find themselves upset or feel like they're being unjustly brought into a situation, accused of a situation, or alleged to have done a situation, you know, as though, hey, man, I ain't got nothing to do with this. Yeah, man, you do. You do. A lot of you don't want to hear it, but the truth of the matter is y'all talk too much. Y'all talk about shit y'all not supposed to talk to or talk about, excuse me, you know? Not only that, you're disseminating stuff to the community, these young minds, man. These young minds that are ripe, and you know this, for, you know, infiltrating, you know, with propaganda and BS, man, but you brothers continue to go on that route. A lot of you think you're super slick, right? You know, real spit. A lot of you think that, okay, man, I can do this and get away with it. As long as I keep my hands clean. You know, you're not never minding what comes out of your mouth. That's part of the problem. All right. But yeah, man, that's what's going to be continuing to happen. We're going to continue to see our brothers become apprehended, you know, kidnapped and placed inside penal systems, you know, unjustly. But because, you know, we don't really have an understanding how the system really works, we're going to fall victim to it. That's the process. This is what a lot of our brothers are experiencing, whether they want no jumper or anywhere else. The majority of them are finding themselves locked away. Locked away. And that's at their own fault. That's their fault. That being said, again, there's a lot going on that we not, as a people, as a nation, is not focusing on. We tend to think we know this shit, right? These laws and, you know, the Constitution and all that, but we're missing the point. Yeah, that shit exists. There are laws, certain laws that exist that are really foolproof. The Constitution is really foolproof. Only when or only accept that you have to meet the criteria of that get down that said law or Constitution. Most of us go under this handle, this identification as a race. Therein lies our problem. Most of us don't see that race has no basis in a political structure, doesn't mean shit, as opposed to a nation. You see, they've established a white nation. This is why they get away with a lot of shit they do, because the rest of us haven't established ourselves as a nation. It's a big difference. Racial is one thing. Nation is a whole different baby, man, a whole different beast. We don't get that part, you know. So we walk around, we talk about African American, Black American, the FBA. None of us are saying the Black nation, you know. So when you look at certain demographics who address or label themselves or as is recognized as nations, Cherokee Nation, Choctaw, Blackfoot, you know what I mean? There are nations. So there are certain respects in terms of law that the white nation have to follow. Have to follow. We haven't went to the United Nations and said, hey, we are a Black nation, rather than, hey, we're African American, Black American. When individuals attempted to do this, they ended up short. You know what I mean? Pay attention. That's just the history. That's the experience. For those brothers and sisters who wanted to go and establish the fact with the United Nations first, that we are a nation as opposed to just a race of Black people, you know, they were stopped. They were stopped, you know. That's our problem. We don't really understand how to identify ourselves. This channel, it says it time and again, all the time. There is a lack of identity that exists in our communities. We don't realize that we should be a nation before we are African American, Black American, FBA. That means something. It really carries more weight, right? Been saying this for a long time. Been saying this for a long time. So that's what the get down is, man. Listen, y'all got to get it, man. Y'all gonna have to come up here and get to business, man. Stop catering to this bullshit that's gonna keep us divided. There is a rule. It's no longer addressed or called divide and conquer. It's called divide and rule. That's to get down. So if they divide us from recognizing that we are a nation of people rather than a race of people, they're going to win every time. This is how they're capable of extracting or taking away what a lot of you are all up in arms about, a vote. The vote don't mean jack to a people who does not recognize itself as a nation. If you're just, hey, the black vote, the black vote, the black, hey man, they don't care about that. That's not law. If you send a black nation, that carries more weight. The connotations of it, man, have to be respected and addressed accordingly. We don't know that part. So this is why we see, and our politicians, man, that's some crazy stuff. Most of them are politically educated, and yet they fail to, push this to the people. They fail to tell the people, hey, man, we are a nation, not a race of people. We are a nation of people. Big difference, man. So when I speak, or when it's spoken on this channel, at the very least, about politicians being chumps, selling us out, that's what I'm talking about. These individuals have been educated in terms of what law is. They understand what the Black Law Dictionary is, and yet they haven't, disseminated that information to the people. Why? Because they're on the take, man. They're on the take. And they're part of keeping us benighted, keeping us ignorant of what the process is really about. When we're talking about unity, man, we have to talk about unity as a black nation, not as the black vote, not as African American, not as Black American, not as FBA, but a black nation. That's a start. That's a start. We're going to let the world know we are a nation of black folk. Until such a time, and until we get that understood, we're going to find ourselves in these predicaments. And these predicaments are getting worse by the day if y'all not paying attention. Some of y'all aren't. It's going down. So let me give y'all real quick. I did something today on the other channel, The Art of Political Discourse, where we discussed, or it was discussed, that the Supreme Court of the United States had pretty much gutted a section of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, right? Section 2. They made it possible for Republicans, white supremacists, to go in and redraw congressional lines. And in that, they were able to take away the power of the so-called black vote, right? They did that. And again, that only is able to occur because we aren't aware of what we're supposed to be pushing or what we're about. We don't know how to identify as a unit. We don't. We got all these different labels, and none of them are cohesive. None of them really speak to who we are, what we should represent ourselves as a people. Again, hey, I'm African, man. I'm black. I'm FBA. No one's saying, man, we are the black nation. See, this is what our people were recognized as before all this shit took place 200 years ago, 300 years ago. They recognized the black nation. Somewhere along the line, that shit got diluted and it changed. We forgot to pay attention. We dropped the ball. This is how we picked the fumble up, though. We started addressing ourselves as a nation of people, of black people. Not as FBA, not as African American, not as Black American, colored, Negro, nigger, or any of that shit y'all be talking about, man. It's all bull crap, man. It serves no purpose. They love the fact that we go into these spots or these different arenas, man, not understanding our identity, not knowing what our identity is as a people. That's the problem. All right. Anyway, so the U.S. Supreme Court, man, they gutted the 1965 Voting Rights Act. The GOP went in and redrew congressional vote districts, right? Boom. It knocked a lot of people off their pedestals, especially Democrats. So now white Democrats have said, well, shit, rather than me going back into this redefined or redrawn areas, congressional areas, and fight for that seat I've been representing for 20 years, I'm going to go and take the black seat. So they're doing, these white Democrats are doing exactly what the GOP did to black politicians and the so-called black vote, majority, districts of blacks, So these white Democrats, most of who support the Israeli regime, are going in there and they say, you know what, now we're going to take this. They're doing to the black representative or those who would represent, majority black districts, what the GOP did. Isn't that something? Are y'all getting this? White Democrats who did not represent black majority or minority areas are now, because they've been kicked out or they refuse to fight for the seat they've been representing for 20 years, all because the congressional lines have been redrawn. They're scared to go in there and get their asses whooped. It's okay, I'm going to abandon that seat, but I'm going to take this black seat from these blacks because I know how to represent them better than any black representative. And damn what the black population say in that district that's left, that only one black district, I'm going to go in there and get it. And you know what? They're going to get it. You know why? Because these same people, I think this shit is orchestrated, it's manufactured. These same people are supported by the AIPAC, J Street, CPACs. Let's call it what it is, man. The Israeli lobby, pro-Israeli politicians, Democrats are finna get the backing, support, monetary support, and finance of the Israeli lobby. So them black seats that they're up in there, oh, you can't come take our seat. They're going to lose that seat anyway, because there's going to be vast amounts of money backing this white or this pro-Israeli Democrat politician. They're going to lose them seats. But I'm just trying to expose the game. Republicans took most of the majority, minority, districts from blacks, as well from some whites and Jewish supporters. Guess what the Jewish supporters or the whites are doing? Democrats. It's okay, now we're going to come take what's left. We're going to come take what's left. Y'all got to see this shit, man. This shit's some real shit taking place, man. It's some real shit taking place, man. And a lot of us, I have to say, and I say this respectfully because you guys know we don't come in here disrespecting our people, man. There's enough of that, all through social media and in the streets, right? So we're not a party to that, but we speak truth to power. We keep everything above board here. All right. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to keep everything above board and be respectful to our brothers and sisters, even when we don't agree with them. All right. So that being said, man, listen, there's more shit going on. There's more shit going on. Some of that is the fact that a lot of us tend to turn a blind eye towards what's been done to us. A lot of us want to say, well, I don't see color. Color's not the issue. It's the people. Okay, but wasn't it color that got us in this position? Why does it not matter now when it mattered most, or when they utilize it to benefit them? Why does it not matter or benefit us now? Why are we saying, hey, man, no, I'm doing the right thing. I'm listening to my inner voice, my God or whatever is saying, hey, leave color out of the, hey, man, that's backwards. Because it was color that stopped us for a very long time of, being our own masters, being autonomous. There was color that stopped us, that redlined us, right? It was color that created Jim Crow, the Black Code, and all that other stuff. It was color that helped prop up slavery and build this country on our backs. It was color. To say now, because we're in 2026, color shouldn't be the issue, it doesn't matter, is bullcrap. We have to get out of that mindset. We have to. If we don't understand that, hey, man, The black nation has to stand up for itself first and foremost. We're going to find our children's children are going to find themselves in this very same position 15 years, 5 years from now, 10 years, 15 years from now. So any of you, I don't care, man, if you're a politician or not, you're talking about color shouldn't matter. I'm not looking at color because color is the no, man, listen, you got it wrong. Color is the reason why we're in this position. It had nothing to do with humanity, morals, principles, and just being righteous. It had everything to do with color. Discrimination is color, you know. Miseducation is about color, you know. Redlining is about color, you know. Respect, you know. The prejudice, white supremacy, it's all about color. This is not something we created. This is their creation. Again, people see what's really happening. They created this system. They decided that we can make color a thing, and by doing it and doing it right, we can take over the world. We can enslave people. We can make them look less than they are. And because they've used color to denigrate us, disparage us, disrespect us, the world thinks we're worthless because of our color. They've forgotten, or they've created such a powerful narrative or propaganda that what we have accomplished and given to the world is inconsiderate. It's not considered based on color. Yes, man, use color. Use it to our benefit, to our uplifting, you know, to our ascension, man. We have to come together. We have to do these things in order to get to where we need to be in this world, on this earth. God helps the child that helps himself, you know, or has his own. We got to get our own shit. That's what we need to be doing. We don't need to be talking about, oh, well, you know, God said this, God. No, man. If that was the case, then, hey, they wouldn't have done it. Why does it apply to us, but not to them? Why should we turn our cheek while they don't? Come on, man. We got to wake up, man. We got to get this shit together. And then there's a lot of us that actually support this stuff. We have so many, we have more than we know Black supporters of MAGA. I mean, man, there are numbers of them. Again, man, I think this is as a result of being miseducated, being bamboozled and hoodwinked, being told that, oh, it's not about color. It's about each man pulling himself up by his bootstraps, while at the same time, you know, denying the fact that we did that in segregation, while segregation was at its highest point. We did that. What was the end result? They still decided to use color against us and go and tear down, burn down, and murder all of those who decided that, hey, man, God said this is what we should do, and we're going to do it. And they did it. Them over there said, man, well, God said, man, this is what we should do. And, you know, these darkies, these, you know, they're let's go get them. And they did it. God didn't play a hand in either role, I don't think. You know, my point is, though, color did. Color played a point in every bit of that. And here we are in 2026. We're still talking about the same shit. More than 100 years later, we're still forgiving, turning the other cheek, talking about, oh, man, you know, my God's. No, man, stop that shit. It is time to do more than organize. It is time to do more than come together and unify as a Black nation. It is time, man, to defend ourselves. That's it. That's it. There's no other person or people on this earth who can contend with us when we decide to get it together and do what the hell we're supposed to do. No one, man. No one can match us. We don't have to be evil about it. We don't have to be vindictive. We don't have to do what we want to do or what they think we're going to do in a retaliatory sense or fashion. Nah, we just got to go about our business. That's how we do things. We go about our business. What's wrong with that? How is that wrong? When we see individuals from other demographics coming in to our historically held seats for our people to come and vote and put in them representatives that we like to think that will go into office and do the people's bidding. Let's be honest, most of the cases that doesn't happen. They get in there, they see dollar signs, the AIPAC come in, J Street, all these CPACs, and they sway their votes. They say, man, don't worry about your people. We're going to get to them. Let's deal with Israel right now and all these other things that's going to help them before it helps us. We understand how that shit works. But still, we support our people. Something's wrong, man. God, I don't think if such a thing exists, I don't think for a minute that it would tolerate this level of weakness, meekness, and forgiveness. I just don't. If a God exists, that God has to be angry at you all for being as weak and as meek as you are, letting people just run roughshod over you. Nah, I don't think that's the case, man. I think that a lot of us are just cowards, up until it comes to when we're facing one another. We got all the heart in the world. But when it comes to facing those who are doing us the most harm, who are killing us, disrespecting us, taking from us our humanity, our dignity, our identity, our history, our ability to fend for ourselves, we cool with that. Something's wrong with that, man. Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong with us. Not if that's the case. That is the case. Something's wrong with us. And we need to figure out what it is. We need to get to what that is so we can start going in another direction. We're waking up now, but more of us need to become more conscious of what the situation is really about. See, we're dealing with this street level shit. See, they got a whole lot of Eoples, so-called white people in the streets fighting against us, and they don't realize that they're fighting against the same system, but they're helping the system not only to destroy us, to keep us down, but themselves as well. That's part of the fight. Before that fight, we got our own people we got to contend with. Our own people who trust in the system that has for over 250 years been running up in us, man. Just messing over us. We got those in our ranks. Then we got the whites, the poor whites, the poor Mexicans. I'm telling you, this shit is orchestrated like that. There are layers to these fights, these battles, this war that we have to see clearly in order to deal with, man, appropriately. No one wants to recognize that fact, that we have to cut everyone loose until we're able to bring ourselves together. Until that happens, man, we're going to continue to experience not just the extraction or the termination of the so-called black vote, but watch what comes next. The denial of constitutional rights. That's coming. Y'all don't see this shit? It's coming. There's a process being put in place that a lot of us as the Black nation is missing. There's a lot going on that keeps us distracted. Most of it comes from our own communities. Most of it. See, because, Master don't have to do much anymore. He already set everything up. He can sit back now and reap the rewards and benefits of our self-destruction. And that's what it is. While we're destroying each other, we're also at the same time keeping this system up, keeping it propped up. As a people, as a Black nation, we spend over $2 trillion annually consuming their shit. Theirs. When we have businesses in our communities, man, we don't go and spend with our people because we got an attitude about our people trying to uplift themselves, elevate. So our people get jealous. Again, that's that divide and rule thing that's in play. It's in full effect. It's in full effect. So our dollars, if they come back to the community or we have them in the community, guess what? They stay there for 6 hours before we go and exchange them dollars for goods to other demographics before we give them or spend them with our own. These other demographics, what they do is they spend their dollars within their communities for up to 24, 23, 24 hours or days on the end. That money circulates. Everybody touches that money, building a financial base. What the hell? What's wrong with us? We're stuck on stupid, man. We're stuck on stupid. And our people, rather than become aware, to become knowledgeable or conscious about what's really happening, we rather go on social media and help prop up this bullshit that's further destroying us and tearing us down. We rather listen to propaganda and false narratives about one another, about ourselves, than go and research this stuff for ourselves to become knowledgeable about who we are. They tell us who we are. They identify us, and then we use their identification of us on ourselves. It's all bull crap, man. And rather than us doing the homework, doing the research, being these people, these grand people, man, we rather be mediocre. We rather allow a culture that's devastating and detrimental to us be the exposure to the rest of them. That culture supposedly now identifies who we are. That's some bull crap, man. There's some crazy shit going on, you know? It's some crazy shit going on. And our people are to blame. The coldest part about everything that's being said right now is that most of us have knowledge of this. Most of us know that this is what's happening. Guess what? For the most of us that know this, 90% still decide to go with the narrative, to go along with systemic racism, the belittling of the people, the false identification, the miseducation, the lack of resources. Come on, man. That's our problem. That's nobody else's problem, man, because it's not like we don't know. We know. Yet we fail to act on the knowledge we have about what's been going on. And I'm telling you, the coldest part about it, this shit been going on for a very, 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 very long time. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. We have been conditioned, indoctrinated to carry on a certain way that is really against our true nature. We tend to treat all this abnormalcy as normal. That's against us, man. What the hell are we doing? We see what's wrong, and yet we're reluctant or we refuse to deal with this shit head on. I have to say, most of our religions were handed to us from our enslaver, from the colonizer. And so we go by what was, dictated to us in terms of religion and faith. Those who put themselves on a pedestal in terms of religious know-how, understanding, and enlightenment are the most misled. Most of them are super rich. They don't care about the community. Community don't live like they live. Come on, man. This is not rocket science. Should be observation with these right here. What we see, we register here, man, and then we work with it. We put it to work for us. We're allowing this shit we see and recognize, man, we know to be detrimental, to continue to work against us because we work against us. Most of our leaders, man, have already sold us out. Politically, entertaining, those who entertain, those athletes, even those on the ground, they've all forsaken us for the bad to be recognized by master. And again, over 90% of them. This is our fight, man. And we don't want to take this fight. We don't want to deal with this shit head on. But again, if we see a brother or a sister that we disagree with for whatever frivolous issue that may occur, oh man, we 10 toes down, man. We going all in. While we let Chad the Builder type individuals walk amongst our communities, in and out our communities, disrespecting and disparaging each and every one of us until somebody at some point, after you've been doing this shit for months, gets tired. That's one example. We allow politics that we know don't work for us to continue to work against us. And we continue to vote people in to political seats of power to do nothing for us. How much more do we need to see to understand and to know, to realize this shit's not for us? You know, how much more? Went sat with the mayor the other day, and I listened to the propaganda. You know, this is an election, season. This is time to be reelected. Seem to be not too sure of what the outcome is. So it's coming down, the brothers need your votes. Well, when brothers needed her, come on. And she's not the only one. State representatives and all this, man, city council people, assembly people, they're all playing us. They get in the office and they forget immediately about each and every one of us, especially those who've been in this game, this political voting thing for like decades. Our mothers and our grandmothers, our great grandparents, if they still are living. They manipulated them for the vote, done nothing for them. Look in each and every one of your communities. Tell me, in the last 6 months, what has been constructed, erected in that community that serves you and your people? Give me one thing. They'll spend money, give money to nonprofits for so-called gang prevention and intervention, yet we got gang activity is flourishing. It's alive and well, all right? We got programs called Saturday Night Live, Summer Night Live, or whatever the hell they call them here in LA. Don't offer nothing. It does not offer anything in terms of the construction or the well-being, the improvement of the youth, giving them something viable, some education. I go sit with the mayor. I say, what's happening with the STEM programs? She wanted to attach that to the LAUSD. No, man, that's the LA school district. I already researched. I already know you have nothing to do with that. After school is when the city's supposed to be the mayor's office, because listen, the mayor office runs parks and recreations. That's their baby. Why aren't there STEM programs after school in these gymnasiums, in these little bungalows that sit on park property, educating our youth? Our communities, man, are STEM deserts. There are only 2 STEM programs in existence anywhere near South Los Angeles or South Central. One is in Gardena, the other is in Watts. So our youth, if they're interested in this, they want to improve, they want to learn, technology to be prepared for the future, they have to ride the bus. They have to get a ride miles away to go to these facilities. And yet we have these parks. They'll open the gym, they'll open a soccer field for kids to play. But there's nothing being offered in terms of these children, man, elevating their minds and preparing for the future. You give a whole lot of money to nonprofits, for safe passage and all these other things. But where's the money? Where's the funding towards educating our young brothers and sisters whose time is now? When they leave school, there should be opportunity waiting for them to improve their mindset, their technological skills, understanding, and comprehension. Where is that? You're talking about a vote to keep you in office. For what? While wealthier communities, not in South Central, they have these things. Go to the Jewish community in LA. Asian community, Indian community. They have these things. The Black community is lacking. Why is that? Why is it then also that Black communities that are well off or better off than those in impoverished areas have those things as well? That most of the money, the budget, financing, funding to improve or to beautify those areas is directed there rather than where we are. Skull game, man. And we sitting up stuck on stupid. We're not seeing the game being played against us, man. Our politicians, a lot of them, hey, man, yeah, they might start out with this vibe, this hunger, this desire to see the community improve. But the longer they're in politics, the longer that they involve themselves or become attached to politics, the less we'll see that enthusiasm, that desire to improve our communities exists. It will wane away. It would cease to exist. I'm through my community the other day, and the only thing I see there, man, are new apartment high rises going up in our community, none of which are owned by the residents in that community. And I'm speaking specifically about Black folks or the Black nation. I'm seeing white people walking up the street, walking poodles, coming out of these, these buildings. I'm seeing new businesses spring up in my community. All right. I see the Church of Scientology and everybody else who goes in there and rub elbows with them people. Hey, nice facility. But I don't see none of what is being done over there spilling over to my community. My community is still a slum, homelessness, impoverishment, unemployment, miseducation. But these businesses, they reap, man, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. Where is any of that being applied to our community for those in the community? We're being pushed out of communities that we've been in for generations, that our parents and their parents grew up in, that our brothers and sisters died in. We've been pushed out. And I'm telling you, politicians, for the most part, allow this. We have certain special interest groups in our communities, and a lot of us don't even know it. We have pro-Israeli organizations in our community, behind the shadows, behind closed doors, working on the table to get us out of our communities. It's not an accusation. Facts. We got to wake up, man. We have to wake up. Because if we don't, man, when we do, we're going to be in a worse off position than we are now. Again, for those of us who are up in age, who are adults, this ain't even about you no more. We dropped the ball a long time ago. We failed ourselves a long time ago. And for those of you who know that, who know better or should know better, that fight is behind us. But the fight that exists now, the fight that matters right now, are all of those who are coming up behind us. Our children's children, our grandbabies, our great grandbabies. This fight, man, got to be worth something. Yeah, it ain't gonna do too much for you. Like I said, we pretty much squandered, our opportunity to bring something to the table for the people. We messed that up. We bought gang banging, man. We bought depravity. We sisters all day long, every day on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube twerking, wanting to show the cleavage between their breasts and their ass cheeks. We got all that. We got all that. We got sisters, man, and brothers, man, with no self-respect all day long on social media. All day long. We got that. That's ours, and a lot of us, we're proud to expose that or put that out there for All those who watch social media, that's why we do it. What's wrong with us, man? But we're not thinking about them kids, man, them grandbabies and them great grandbabies. We too busy in front of the cameras ourselves trying to impress somebody, go viral. When we're forgetting about our youth, man, we're forgetting about our future. We are disrespected. We are inconsiderate of the Black nation. That's some foul shit, man. I have to say that. I have to say that. And it's no God's fault. It's no religion's fault. It's no white people's. It's our fault that we're in this position because we refuse to address those issues we know that are happening, that occur, that exist, and we're doing nothing about it. Again, our sisters, man, our queens, man, are selling themselves. Are selling themselves, man. Our brothers are failing themselves and failing to protect our sisters and our children. That's what's going on, man. And everybody's acting like it's all right, man. You know, everybody's forgetting that, hey, man, if this is going on and you don't see nothing wrong with it, then therefore your children's children will also suffer. No one cares about that. If they did, we wouldn't see a whole lot of this shit we see existing going on. Again, from the dirt, from the ground, the concrete level, all the way up high. From our politicians to our ministers, our preachers, man, to our entertainers, you know, to our so-called leaders, athletes. We see this corruption. We see this disjoining, man, of unity, of caring for the Black nation. This shit is real. And y'all sitting up on this shit, man, again, and y'all not even seeing what they doing. And like I say, I never thought the vote was real anyway. It was just a matter of time for they took it because we don't carry ourselves as a nation. So we really aren't privileged to have that. As long as we consider ourselves as a race of people rather than a nation of people, they're going to continue to take shit, run roughshod over us and say, okay, what you going to do about it? Oh, we going to protest. Okay, tell me how that works out for you. Let me know how that's going to work out for you. I won't be there. You know, that shit don't work no more, man. That shit didn't work then. It really didn't work then. You know, it really did it. Anyone in doubt about that, let me know. I'll be able to answer to tell you what the real issue was. Why they didn't just wipe us out then. Again, we missing the point, man. We serve a purpose, man, that doesn't serve us. That's it. And yet, no one in this country spends more money in consumer goods than us. No one. We have no sense, man. We have no sense. And it shows. It shows, man. You know, I got something for you, man, but hey, it is what it is. You know, and again, hey, my thing is saying this, man. Yeah, I've talked to brothers this weekend. I went and talked with brothers and sisters, you know, nonprofits, religious, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, and I was all ears. I want to listen. Ain't got to say much. I just need to listen and hear what's being said, how they see it. And from my perspective, in terms of what I've heard, my observation, we lacking. We're lacking. We're more pitted against each other than we are against the system that has gotten us in this position. That started initially. You know what I mean? That's some sad shit. That's some sad shit. Most nonprofits are in it just for the money. That's not to say all. I'll hurry up and clarify that because I think that there are some righteous nonprofits. But let me give y'all a heads up. Get ready. Trump about to shut that down too. You think I'm bullshitting? Do your research. He about to shut that down too, man. You know. And then another thing for all you Mexicans out here who think you're legal, who, found a way to legal, citizenship. He's coming after that next. Y'all didn't know that? He's coming to get that too. For all y'all that applied and got were granted citizenship, he's coming after that. While y'all sitting up talking about black folk, y'all still your necks are still on the chopping block. You worry about black folk. What we ain't doing. And black folk worry about y'all. What y'all talking about? By the whole time, look, we all in the same boat. They coming after us just like they coming after them. Same shit, man. Same shit. Get ready. That's all I gotta say. All right, man. Let me go in here, man. Queen and Zinga 7 say peace and blessings to the RGC. Right back to you, sister. Good to see you up in here. Good to see you. She said, Happy Remembrance Day to those who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving in this U.S. military. And I had a thought today in regards to Memorial Day. A lot of us brothers, man, we went to war for all the wrong reasons, right? A lot of our brothers and sisters, our kings and queens, are not here because of this false war we've been fighting with each other. I said, damn, so are we veterans of wars? And my first mind was like, no, we were idiots of wars. No, man, no, we went sacrifice, for the set, for the grand. We ain't own none of that shit, man. So no, man, we should not receive, that accolade, that appreciation, that recognition, in terms of Memorial Day for veterans and those who lost their lives. Yeah, them are our loved ones. But man, they're not here for all the wrong reasons. They're not here for all the wrong reasons, man. I mean, man, countless kings and queens, brothers and sisters. For what? For what? And then that even goes double for those who were so-called legitimately, who should be legitimately recognized in this time of this so-called holiday, those who registered and was a part, as Queen Ziga said, of the U.S. military. But they were for what? Their lives were lost for what? See, this is how ignorant we are. I don't care what level we want to put it on, from the street level gangs and shit, from those enrolling or registering, being a part of the U.S. military. Die for what? For what? Come on, man. This country cares no more about those individuals that died fighting for it and its freedoms than those who were in the streets dying for streets they don't own. Same shit, man. Same shit. Same shit. These holidays, man, have no real significance when we peel back the layers, man, and we look at this shit. Again, there are so many distractions. There's so much put in front of us that, tends to mislead us, hoodwinks us, bamboozles us. But again, that's only because we aren't willing to research and come to terms with the reality of what our existence here in this country is really about, or what it really is. We're playing ourselves at this point. That's what's happening. So anyway, appreciate the comment nonetheless, Queen and Zinga. Raymond Skull 102, man, peace and prosperity to you and the rest of the brothers, man, representing the Rays, from Pasadena, man, to Inglewood to LA, man. May everything be everything, man. How are you and the family? I like to think that you set out today, man, doing the most. You know what I mean? Making it worth the while, brother. Good to see you up in here, man. You going to say peace and blessings to you, Bub, and the RGC. B1 equals black first, man. The black nation, y'all. The black race, not African American, not Black American, not FBA. This is our problem. We put no power behind our identification, or in terms of who we are, how we identify. That's our problem. When we say the black nation rather than African American, FBA, black man. When we say the black nation, trust and know, go research it. It carries more weight. It carries more weight. Now we're talking about human law. Fuck civil rights and shit. We're talking about human law. We're talking about being recognized as a nation of people rather than a race of people. It means something, man. That shit is deep, man. I did my research since last night. I've been on it. All right. B60, what it do, loved one? He said, greetings, man, and salutations to you, Bub, and RGCB1. Right back to you, bro. Peace, prosperity, love, and respect to you and your fam, bro. All right, Lisa Moore, one of our queens, man, always front and center. We love you and respect you for it. Coming to get some of this today, huh? I'm feeling, you know, I'm some kind of way today. I have to admit that I'm some kind of way today. You know, and just so you know, I don't plan to be long. Got the grandkids here. I want to chop it up with them. You know, all boys. You know, I like messing with them. You know, and lacing them. You know, wanting to be aware of their mindsets. You know, so yeah, I'm going to give some of my time before it gets too late to them. You know, but that being said, Lisa Moore, again, peace and prosperity to you and your family, sister. Good to see you here today. You know, peaceful Monday to you and yours. Okay. You say Grand Rising, Brother Bub. Blessings to you and the family. Peace and love to the kings and queens in the RGC. B1 is black first, y'all, period, point blank. This is what we're saying. The black nation. That would involve nothing but black first. The nation of black folks have to get on our feet. We got to do this work, man. Ain't nobody else gonna do it. They loving the fact that we acting like imbeciles. We on clown time, y'all. And they loving it. They loving it. These damn politicians then went up in there, Democrats, and they said to the blacks who still have their districts that wasn't overtaken by the GOP, this redistricting thing in terms of congressional districts. The white Democrats say, oh, well, you know what? They took ours, so we're going to come take yours. We're going to come take your district, majority, minority, black district, because they took ours. Our people took ours from us. So the right thing to do, the only thing to do is come to take yours from you. Man, if that don't beat all, if that don't tell us something, nothing else will, man. Nothing else will. And the coldest part about these individuals, they all are pro-Israel. Now, most people don't even try to understand how I be trying to align shit, right? Give us a grand idea of understanding, overstanding, and even an understanding of what's taking place, what's really happening. There are two realities taking place here. One, for a lot of us, is that Africa's the motherland. That's Kemet, that's Ethiopia, that's all that. And then there's that other school of thought that right here is where it is. You know what I mean? Now, look at these people, the black hat people. They're looking at it in both respects too, because they're not sure either. You know what I mean? So they're over there. They said, we're going to take all this. We're going to make this greater Israel. We're going to go into some parts of Africa. We're going to get, man, we da-da-da. And at the same time, they say, but at the same time, we got to establish ourselves here just in case this is where, you know, the Most High comes back. You know, we can play like, you know, we won't, you know. Some cold shit going on. Their efforts are to continue to dismantle and destroy us. Period, point blank. They're not the only ones, but they're the most active. You know, the other ones just, you know, just pure bigotry. You know what I mean? Just pure bigotry. You know, the white supremacist mindset. But these black cat people, that's some most shit. If you do your studies, your research, you get what I'm talking about. Because throughout history, this is what they've done. They played that role. Oh man, we're with you and your cause. Whatever you're about, we're about. We support you. Behind the scenes, shit. You're finna take over everything and kill off your people, man. Real shit, man. Anyway, there it is. Lisa Moore, good to see you up in here, sister. Yeah, I'm in that mindset today, y'all. I'm in control though. Still cool, calm, and collected. I'm a big back and be boo. You know what I'm saying? Get my groove on, man. Raymond Scott said, man, they've been feeling as if they can represent us better than we can represent ourselves. Hence, the Urban League, NAACP, and so forth. Our fight is on us, and we need to represent ourselves. Boom. Hit the nail on the head, right? Boom. Been saying this. We've been saying this, you know? And this is the mindset of the Ashkenazi and others that, hey, man, you know, the master you said back in the day, all the way up to the 1960s and 70s, we know what's best for them. They're happy. We know how to take care of our ninjas. They love it. You know, they're happy, you know. Same mindset, man. Same mindset. And again, man, there's so much going on in the world and in history. A lot of us don't get when we talking about slavery, how we got here, and a lot, you know. Again, there are two realities that exist. One is the fact that we were already here before any of that. The other is the fact some of us were brought here. Okay, but in terms of those who brought us here, you know who did that? Do y'all know who brought us here on their ships? They were merchants, man. They did it. Then certain Arabs did it, and European. That's the reality. That's the reality. They did it. Then you know Arabs did it. That is the reality. You know, but hey, you can't tell most of us that they are against us. They say, "Oh no, man, they the children of Israel. They're God's chosen." Then what the hell are you? Because them people don't look nothing like you. Don't have the same history, identity, the same spirit, DNA. What the hell are you talking about? This is not hate mongering, people. This is not hate mongering. This is a discussion about identity, us coming together as one, a nation of blacks, the black nation, so that we can get to where the hell we need to be. Correct a whole lot of what's wrong in the world. But we have to do that first with ourselves before we can call ourselves saving and helping, supporting anybody else. There can only be one. There can only be one. And that's especially if we're going upon so-called scripture. You know, there can only be one. There can't be two of us. So, for real, man. Hey, man, Raven's Code, tell the truth, man. Shame the devil, man, as the saying goes. Yeah, man. Speaking of NAACP, man, that's another one, man. You know, these people are so out of touch, with the people, for real, that, you know, they don't even see or are able to comprehend that we see them as puppets, as turncoats and sellouts. You know, they could be missing from the going ons and activities in all of our communities for years. And soon as something come up that they want to, you know, hold the banner up and protest, they want to come back and call us as though we should drop everything and support them. That go also for those politicians who want our votes all of a sudden. Well, we ain't seen you in the community since the last time you campaigned, you know. That go for all of them. I mean that. Respectfully, I mean that. That goes from assembly people, council people, the mayors, the governors, the representatives, senators. Where were you guys after you got in office with our help? Where were you after you got in office? We didn't see you. It's only when it's time to be reelected we see most of you, all of you. I don't care what state of the union you're in. And your excuses, oh, I was traveling, I had this and I had that. Most of you miss votes that are really important or imperative that can actually change the lives of a lot of us in the inner cities. You miss these votes. You're not present. You're not there to do the business of the people. But when election time comes around, we see you more than we need to. Really upsets our stomach. You know, a lot of us try to keep a straight face. Oh, well, that's a brother or that's a sister. And we got to, but for real, man, internally, we're struggling not to trip out on y'all. That's our downfall right there. I think that's our downfall. But rather than put y'all in y'all place and get rid of you, we continue to tolerate your BS and your corruptness. We suffer. We suffer. Most of you go into politics broke. Interns working for law firms, you know, not being paid enough to put a down payment on a home. Once you get in politics in a year or two, you're super rich. You own millions. You have millions in your accounts. Shit is bullshit crap, y'all. And we got to address it as such. Yeah, NAACP ain't no different than a whole lot of other ones. You know, a lot of nonprofits are just like the NAACP now, in my opinion. You know, those who run them, they just there, man. Hey, you know, and you know, a couple of drives here, toy drive, food drive, blah, 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 blah. But you're not living like the people living. I bet you. I bet you. Bet you your rent is paid. I don't know if any of you own homes yet, but bet you know if that's the case, your mortgage is paid. Your lease is paid on your car. You got money in your account. Fine clothes. Your car looks good too. You got jewelry. Oh, I've seen it all. You know, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying that's the case, but hey, man, this show, it has a look about it. And not only that, but your nonprofits don't even know how to do shit together. You know, y'all doing what the politicians doing, stepping on each other's toes. You know, those from East Coast want to come over in the Hoover territory and start their nonprofits there. Those over there want to go to Bloods and do that. Hey, man, don't y'all get that? That's, come on, man, that creates problems. But again, nobody cares about that because it's all about how I'm going to get this money. How I'm going to get this money, man. That's all y'all caring about. Y'all not caring about the implications, what's going to, the repercussions, the consequences of stepping on each other's toes, not having an agenda where y'all worked out together how y'all would manage nonprofits in every prospective community. It makes no sense. If East Coast is just as big as Hoover, why would East Coast nonprofits be in Hoover territory? That's going to create problems. And again, couple that with the fact that, you know, this gang intervention or prevention, this shit is that's a farce. You know, youth in the community is still upset about a lot of shit that went down that shouldn't have. They know who responsible too. But nonprofits from other different areas want to come and start setting up shop in other communities they ain't got no business in. That makes no sense. Unless it's done to create more conflict just to get the bag. Just to get the bag. Willing to jeopardize it all just for the bag. It's part of the problem, man. Henry Sedella, what it do, bro? Say salute and peace, man. And blessings, family. Brother Bub, one love to you and yours, soldier. Right back to you, man. Salute, bro. Peace and prosperity to you and yours, man. May everything be everything on your end. I see you, Fat Rat. He said, peace to you and RGC, Big Bub. Right back to you, Fat Rat. Peace and prosperity to you and yours, bro. Good to see you here tonight. You know, good to see you. Raymond Scott said, yeah, now we have chud copycats going around disrespecting black folk. They're testing us to see what they can do. We need to wake up, get prepared, and be ready for what's come our way. Again, And that's on the street level, right? Again, Chud had been given a whole lot of leash. I had a conversation with my wife, man. And it's funny how, I don't know if some of y'all can relate to this. Some of the things that we see and we know is disrespect, it misses us. You know what I'm saying? And it finds its way to other unsuspecting or, a lot meeker folk. You know what I mean? And it evolves, it develops because these same, I don't know, man. I want to say it like, I'm gonna say it like this, because brothers, that's the attitude they have in the streets. They'll give people passes before they give one another a pass. A brother can't walk by another brother and say, "Hey, blood, what's up, cousin?" In a matter of seconds, the shit go up. But let a cracker walk by and say, "Hey, chimp, hey, ninja, da da da." Oh man, man, yeah. Foul shit, man. That tells me there's a lot of cowards in the midst, man. They ain't real gorillas. They not silverbacks. They chimps, man, like he called them. And it was appropriate. I hate to say it, but it was. The labeling, you know what I mean? Because real men, silverbacks, warriors are not going to allow that. I'm just saying, man. And yeah, okay. Well, Bud, what about de-escalating? Man, shut the fuck up. Who de-escalates on us? We don't even de-escalate on our damn selves. But we want to tell each other de-escalate on another demographic that comes in our community. Well, maybe because that's it. It's not our community. We tend to think that it is, right? The streets and shit. Numbers on the streets, names on the streets. We tend to think that's ours. But they'll come on there, man, and we won't say or do shit. Let another brother or sister come over there, man. Ain't supposed to be over there and say something. It'd be on the news, man, at 6:00. Man. Now you got all these copycats running around here. I see a different attitude taking place, but that should have been from jump. That should have been from jump. And I don't care who it is, man. White, Mexican, nothing. No passes on none of that. Hear it, man. Should not be done, should not be tolerated. Straight up, man. Straight up. And you even got brothers want to support this character, man. What clown time is that, man? I mean, that's even worse, man, than everything else I described in terms of how we go about doing shit. Now you want to support and give them okay. It reminds me of brother some months back. This guy was in Indianapolis, white supremacist guy, spewing the N-word and everything, man. The oddest thing about it was the crackers attacked him, right? Then out of nowhere, here comes the brother. No. Got talking about what? No, man, Jesus wouldn't. Man, Jesus ain't gonna protect no evil shit, man. What are you talking about? But this brother, that's part of our problem, man. We got life and bullshit twisted. I think that's part of our problem. That's what it is, man. Yeah, so we got Chud copycats running around here doing this shit, man. And again, man, I don't advocate violence unless violence comes to me, man, unprovoked. That's me. I can't speak for nobody else. I don't want no problems. I promise you I don't. All right? Yeah. Yeah. Not only is the street level individuals, Chud the builder, and copycats like him testing us, the whole apparatus is testing us. And we ain't seeing that shit. We keep talking about some kumbaya and let's go vote and everything other than what we're supposed to be on. We're doing and talking about that. When are we going to recognize that this system doesn't want, it wasn't designed to include us in the first place? When are we going to get after 250 years, man? We ain't realized this shit. All right, fuck y'all, going about your business. Because we know how to get it done, man, when we about ourselves. When we about us, we get it done. That's a fact. Man, you got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. I ain't trying to hear it, man. Dana Garrison said, you should be getting way more views, big homie. Salute to what you got going on. Hey, man, right back to you. Salute, peace, and prosperity. You and yours, Dana, man. Listen, it's a shadow, what they call shadow banning. I ain't tripping, man. I mean, you know, I was sitting with the sister, man, Lady Runt, but Miss Mary out of the kitchens yesterday. And she had a valid point. One I've said, a lot of us have said many times over. Long as we reach one, as long as we reach one brother or sister, you know, work is getting done, you know, and we reach them right, correctly, appropriately, in such a way when they part company with us, we already know what they going, where they going, and what they going with. You feel me? This gonna do what it do, bro. You know. I've been in this going on 3 years, man. And yeah, okay, yeah, the numbers just don't make sense. What I'm gonna do, man? Man, YouTube, no, man, YouTube know what they doing. YouTube rather have our brothers on this get out, man, this apparatus, talking, snitching on each other, wanting to kill and fight one another. Who went to jail? Who the DMP shit? You know, all that shit. You know. Want to bring it's always controversy. That's it. I ain't done that. I'm not going to do that. And there's a lot of others like this. We're not, shadow ban us then. But as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, that's only going to last so long. We're not worried about it. You know, whole lot of shit that go on these channels, bro, Dana, that I don't participate in. I don't like any viewer or listener. Don't send us a dime over here, man. Don't you got bills? Don't you got kids? You got a whole lot of shit you need to be taking care of rather than worry about sending me $1 or $2. Man, the hell with that. And I've been called a fool for that. You know, but individuals that love me and I love them back, you know what I mean? But say, hey, but listen, now to see how you're thinking. That ain't cool. But YouTube is shadow banning me so they ain't got to pay me. That's where my money should come from, them bastards. Where about it, bro? This is a whole different get down, man. You know, this is a whole different get down. And I appreciate the fact that I'm of the mindset, though, I'm sticking to this. I ain't tripping. I'm not tripping, man. I don't make shit doing this shit, but I love doing it. I love touching bases with the people, man. You know, my question is to each and every one of you, you know, what's under your groove? What foundation are you standing upon? If it's concrete, man, it ain't gonna crumble underneath you. You know what I mean? You're gonna be able to stand tall and put shit on your shoulders, carry that too, it's still gonna stand. But if we full of shit, the foundation ain't gonna hold no weight, man. And that's gonna show. So a lot of our brothers with this BS on social media, we see them one by one crumbling, falling under the weight of this bullshit that they pushing. It's catching them up, man. And it's some sad shit. It's like, brothers, and we got this problem in our communities. We don't tend to learn lessons from others who've taken falls ahead of us. They're ahead of us walking. We see them and we see them disappear. I'm like, oh shit, all right. Ain't nobody stopped and said, what happened? How did he fall off? What brought him down? Why did he disappear? Why is he no longer here? Oh man, fuck that, man. We ain't doing none of that. Brothers need to wake up, man. Straight up, man. Especially those who have platforms, who have followers. Need to wake up, man, and lead them correctly, man. Lead them righteously, man. Toward this war we in, this battle. Straight up. And if they're not doing that, man, make no mistake about it, man, they're part of the problem. They're working with the people, man. You can take that how you want. I'm just saying what it is. They are working with the people. If they're not working to elevate the people and bring them out this situation, and instead they're talking this shit we see them talking, all of the majority of them, they working with the people, man. They're more concerned with getting the crumbs than bringing the people together, man, and seeing that we get this shit together, man, or we don't get it at all. So I ain't got no issues, man, but my numbers not being what they should be. I trust that, man. My soul and spirit, man, understands that, man, this shit on a whole nother level, man. I ain't on that level. And that's easy. Most of them cats, man, they ain't done nothing. They took advantage of our opportunity, man. Opportunists. We get it. No problem. No problem, man. But hey, appreciate you up in here, Dana. Hey, again, Under the Groove Podcast, man. This is Touching Bases with the People every Monday through Friday, all right? 6:15, 8:15, and so on. I didn't plan to be here this long tonight, everybody. I'm telling the truth because, like I said, I got the grandsons here. They're waiting on me, but I'm enthusiastic about this shit, man. I come up like most of you did in the streets, man. And that's not to say everybody did. Our listeners and viewers, that's not to say you did either. But for those who can relate to what I'm saying, man, you get it. I came up in the streets, man. Been through that shit. I was just fortunate enough, man, to learn a lesson, man, on my last bid, which was a life sentence. I was fortunate. I had people who loved me enough. Not a whole lot. I guess was happy I was gone. Like as mad, I'm still here. But I had enough people to love me enough to support me, not monetarily, but in terms of structure, history, health, spirituality, shit like that. That's why I'm still here. 10 years. Never been on the street this long since I was 13 years old. 10 years. Hey, I plan to be here till it's my time. And again, I like to think that when my time comes, it's going to be when I'm putting in work for the people. Or a natural passing, that'd be nice too, I'm banking on both. We'll see. But hey, man, here I am, man. And there's some brothers out there, man, that been through some shit. Some ain't. A lot of dudes jaw jack like they the business and they not. It's easy to tell, y'all. All we gotta do is just focus on the focus. You'll see it. But Under the Groove Podcast, it's a whole different beast. It started out that way. And that's how it's gonna continue, man. So appreciate your opinion, Dana. I see you, Pope. What it do, loved one? You said, Bub, I just got on, but I hear the top host on his game. What it do, Bub? Top of it to you. The UTG, Under the Groove Podcast, everybody in the RGC. That is the Royal Group Congregation. That consists of brothers and sisters who've been in this thing, man, for a very long time. We've gotten to the point where we have learned to agree to disagree and remain respectful to each and every one of us, each other. That's the thing, y'all. That's the thing. That's the people working in unison. That's what we're lacking in our communities. Unity. Even when we don't agree. But I see you, Poke. I appreciate you being here. Like you say, man, focus on the focus. It's a good look, bro. That's the business. You going to say, man, what it do? Fat Rat, hollering that Fat Rat, man. Hey, Fat Rat came up in there kind of early. It's a good look for the big homie, man. Good look. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Chud the builder. Yeah. Chud up in there crying like a real punk. But see, now, here's the thing now. Think about this. And I'm thinking we're talking about Chud, but I want to let's go back to our people, our YNs, so to speak. This is what they call them. I'll say young brothers and sisters. Play that role. They in that role. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right? Soon they get caught up, what they doing. Same thing Chud doing, crying, begging to get out, telling on anybody. You see if it's the easier way out. You know, this is all made up shit, man. These dudes ain't about it like that, man. And I'm talking about our people. We already know Chud, yeah. Our young brothers and sisters, a lot of them are not built for this shit. And in fact, none of us were. There's nothing normal about any of this shit. All that shit was in abnormity, you know what I mean? An abnormality. It wasn't right. It wasn't correct. It's not our nature, man. And as a result, there are scores of us who have been through this shit, man, these experiences, been through the fire. And as a result, a lot of us come out different men. We come out as kings and gods, real leaders, real men. A lot of us don't. Again, a lot of us go into this situation thinking, oh man, I got this. Until reality steps in and shock their ass into the present when they're talking about 200 years, 100 years, 80 years to life. You get to worrying about mama. You weren't thinking about mama. None of us were really, But now you're in the shit. Mama can't save you. You on your way to hang out with the rest of the knuckleheads. And you're going to find yourself in a rude awakening when you get there. Because it ain't what it's cracked up to be, man. So this ain't really to you. If you're in there watching this, this to those who are out here who might come across this. Don't play yourself, man. Don't play yourself, man. I'm from Hoover, man. Yeah, man, but I ain't with none of that shit. I ain't liking none of that shit that's going on. And that go for all the other communities, man. None of this shit is right. Avoid taking that hit, man. Avoid from being kidnapped, man. Removed from these streets, from your freedoms, your future. Avoid that shit. While you can. Because see, some of y'all ain't gonna get the chances a lot of us got. Penitentiaries now are different. You don't go there to get educated anymore. I mean, you find yourself in a situation, back in the 70s and 80s and, some of the 90s. Hey, man, education was king. We wanted to educate ourselves. We want to make sure that this, if we make it out, it don't happen again. That don't exist no more, man. There's very little education in prisons now, but there are a whole lot of drugs, a whole lot of punkism, a whole lot of cowardism, a whole lot of that. It's a whole lot of your homies turning on you for the slightest thing. You want to let them use a cell phone. You in canteen line, you got $50. You didn't want to get him 5 bags of rice. Might be the same homie who had resources but smoked them up, using them on drugs, but he wants you to take care of him. Don't find yourself in that position, man. Don't wait for that to happen to you, man. Trust and know. That's what's waiting. That's what's waiting. The fact that you might have to book your own homie because he's trying to punk you. All right. You brothers and sisters who are out here right now, call yourself YNs or whatever the hell that is. They mean that it's just such crap. Y'all think y'all know better than those who came before y'all. Y'all are the peaches talking to the trees. Y'all know crap, man. Y'all know nothing. You have an opportunity, man, to get the game, man, for real, from the tree. And if you listen accordingly, you'll miss all this shit, man, that's waiting, that's on that road that y'all on. Y'all should want to avoid that shit. Because in there, mama ain't good. You can't even, if you love your mother enough, you can't do nothing for her in there. your little sister, your little brother, your daughter, your son, your dad. Can't do nothing up in there, man. But you're gonna do what you told. You might not even like it. You might even know it's wrong. You get sent on a mission for some humbug shit. Beware, man. Take advantage of your freedoms. Build your future, man, out here, man. Don't do it in there. Real spit. Real spit. All right, Queen Nzinga got something to say. Ain't that something? Queen Nzinga, what you talking about, man? But hey, they make sure the police have a bungalow in our parks. Real spit. We were talking about, I sat down with the mayor Saturday. Quite a few of us I don't want to make it seem like I was by myself with the mayor. You know, I got it like that. No, I don't. Anyway, but we sat down with her, and I did pose a question to her, and that question regarded the lack of STEM programs in parks for after school students, our brothers and sisters after school. And she made like, oh, that's a county thing at the the LAUSD. And I said, no, wait, you're attaching it to the LA Unified School District. They have their hours a day. They do what they do. At the end of that day, that's called after school. You feel me? Where's the programming for that? Where are the funds for these parks and recreations that the mayor runs? Not only that, she got so much leverage, man. Think about that, right? You have entertainment out here. You have major corporations in Los Angeles. Oh, they make billions, man. If not daily, weekly. They make a lot of money, right? Why aren't you tapping into them saying, okay, we need, and there are tax write-offs for these billionaires, these millionaires. We need X amount of millions because we have a project. We have 15 parks, and here are the corridors where these parks are. In each and every one of them parks, we want to spend no less than 1.5. In these parks, 2.5, building bungalows that houses technological, know-how, computers, everything to teach them, not just AI or not just science, technology, engineering, mathematics, but AI, coding, robotics, all that shit. That's what the mayor can do. And so that was the question I posed to her. Why aren't they there? Why aren't they there? Why aren't children from Monday to Sunday spending their times after school? Saturday and Sunday ain't got, but in these parks, inside these facilities that have been erected and put there by the city. Why is that happening? We exist, our youth exists in what they call a STEM desert, y'all. So we don't just only have a water desert, a food desert, any kind of desert you could think of, where we have to depend on resources and living upon from other people. That's a desert. So my question was, why is that? Why is that? Why is an effort being made to make sure that our children's future will not be something that is technologically behind everybody else? All right. So, and after the get out, I pulled her assistant. The sister's name is Karen Lane. Karen Lane to the side, and I said, hey, chances are she's gonna forget what I said, but here's this copy of everything I wanted to share. And they only gave, each individual 1 minute to have one question. All right. Anyway, but the sister though was receptive, and I wanted her, hey, I'm gonna look at you, sister. I need you to look at me. I'm dead serious about this. This needs to be implemented. We're talking about our future, the future of our people, our nation, our youth. So I'm going to contact one of the loved ones tomorrow and say, hey, man, I don't know if I'm gonna put him out or what, but hey man, can you contact her and have her contact me? She took my information, but again, I understand politics. I do. Uh, the fact of the matter is that's not something that's pressing on their agenda, especially in the campaign season where she's feeling like she may not win. Because the billionaire, he's using AI, to influence a lot of people. It made me kind of feel like, okay, we need to vote for her to get her in here just to see in the next 4 years whether or not she'll get this shit done for us. It's a flip of the coin, but that is, man. A good 4 hours sitting down, brothers, having this discussion with Mayor Bass uh, as to whether or not I think it would pan out or anything will come of it remains to be seen, because next month is the election for mayor. So I think for her part, it was just about getting out there and saying to the brothers, hey, help me, please vote for me, and get people to vote for me. Not much she can do at this juncture, unless she's reelected. And if she's reelected, then will she remember? And that's the problem with a lot of our politicians. They forget once they're reelected. So, but Karen Lang, if by chance you hearing this, your name is being spoken, please contact me. Let me know. Well, again, I think that's futile, because there's no telling what's going to occur. But you do have the paperwork, and if it's been discussed with Mayor Bass, I'd like to hear that at the very least. And thank you for your time. But yeah, that was the conversation, you guys. That was conversation. All right, Anthony, I see you up in here, Antonio. Right back to you, bro. Love to you and the fam, man. Fat Rat Man cement scripture. A carcass, dry bones in the valley. A carcass, dry bones in the valley, the dead. A work called the resurrection of the dead. A carcass, dry bones in the valley, the dead. Oh, we want to bring them back to life, huh? I hear you, bro. James say, man, I cut my people a break. I don't complain. That might be part. You know what they say sometimes, James? And peace and prosperity to you, brother. Good to see you up in here. They say silence is complicity. What do you think about that? You think that's true? Silence is complicity. So that means, though, you might want to have a say or two about something, but you don't say nothing. And by not saying nothing, are you complicit? Because you don't want to complain. I mean, I'm asking. I don't know. Okay. Hey, Fat Rat, I appreciate that, man. And you as well, though, James. Good seeing you up in here, bro. Oh, you're going to say, okay, I cut my people a break. I don't complain, and they're going to continue to do what they do. Hey, man, that's just how I go. Revolution ain't shit. I don't know, man. I'm not going to agree with you on that one, though, Brother James. No. All right, C1C, good to see you, Queen. She say, hey, Grand Rising Uncle, there's an email. Okay, got you. I'll tap into it, all right? Okay, got you. Well, good to know you out. Get to work on yourself. Again, you are your navigator, your captain, and how you sail the seas got to be to your get down. Don't allow nobody to sail your boat. All right. Good to know that you out, sister. We love you. There you go. You say still off the bones though, only smoking joints. At my Mai Tai class, my class this afternoon, getting back in to my community and delivering books and activities to the mental health ward in my area. And I can say as well. So today I worked out, you guys, for the first time in a long time, I have to say. Oh man, and I felt every bit of it. I ain't gonna lie. I felt every bit of it. But the funny thing about that is after the fact you feel good. If that only applies to those who know what I'm talking about. There's a certain feeling in your body, your blood flow is, you feel it. It's like, feel a bit of that. And that reminds me, I was talking to Lady Runt, Miss Mary out of the kitchens off the east side. Her brother was Craig Munson, rest in peace, and our condolences to the family again. That's her big brother. Um, and we were talking about Craig back in the days. I used to work out and how that influenced other brothers, whether they were crippled bloods, to work out, you know. And so I recall what I said growing up in the 70s. You know, I don't know how we got the weights, but I'm pretty sure I know how we got the weights, but we would work out. I was working out, man, before I ever went to jail. You know, we were bench pressing, curling, push-ups, you know. That was a thing back then. You know, that was something we did. You know, and I went on to mention that nowadays you don't see that with the youth, these so-called YNs. Most of them are scrawny, you know, addicted to drugs, you know, just unhealthy. When we were that age, hey man, when I was 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, I was working out. Now, when I got up there, like, you know, 13, 14, you know, I was working out before I went to jail, though, you know, and it was something, man. It was something we did, you know. You don't see that. You just don't see that anymore, you know. Well, not as much as it used to be, put it like that. But yeah, you know, get into that workout. You know, physical health is good health. You know, that's your wealth. That is your wealth, sister. So good to see you back up and at it, and you stay on it. All right, stay on it. Fat Rat said, "Man, hey, Bob Marley referred to it as a generation gap, a period wherein a void would divide father and son, mother and daughter. But this was ordained; it was written. The former lost its qualification to lead the future. So a period in our history is in most need of supreme guidance, all right? A problem that only the supreme being would solve. And okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But I say if we're the ones experiencing the problem and we know inherently how to correct and fix it, then that would be more on us than the supreme being or the most high, because that information has already been imparted to us. You know, that's just my take on it. How wrong I could be, I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. You know, if there's a problem that exists in our communities with the black nation, trust and know that we are already coded with certain DNA to get us out of this situation. The most high, the power that be, the source has already provided that map, that blueprint, those instructions. All right. And it could be on whatever it's already been applied. It's already been addressed within us. So yeah, I think it's more on us to get it together because, like I say, man, the instruction has already been put down. We've already been laced with that, you know. I don't know. So if again, hey Fat Rat, you know, man, if I'm wrong, man, you already know, bro. Lace me, correct me. I don't have a problem with it. All right, Hulan Survivor, man. Good to see you back, my brother. All right, you say salute, man, to UTG podcast. Thanks for breaking it all down. Man, peace and prosperity, right? You know, to you and the fam, bro. No problem. You know, no problem. And if I can't push it and get it down there, drop them jewels and gems like I should or supposed to, there are brothers and sisters up in here who will or who are capable, more than capable of doing the work. So, you know, you're in the right space, bro. You are in the right space. James say peace, love, and respect to the strong brothers and sisters out there. One, right back to you, bro. Appreciate that. Hulan, man, going to say, man, I always let young bros know minimum wage was less than $3, and then crack showed up. Reagan was the president, and the plot was set. Where you got to finish that for me, bro? Where you at? Damn. All right, but okay, yeah. Thanks for getting here on today. Thanks for getting on here today. Yeah, man. I don't know. Someone was saying, man, go on. Now I was saying, I told my wife, I said, yeah, I don't think I'm a because this Memorial Day thing, and I know the grandkids is here at the house, and I said, and I said, what, nah, I just want to go on. And I appreciate that I did, just hearing you say thanks for coming on lets me know, man, I did the right thing. So hey, good luck, bro. Good luck. Yeah, Reagan came in, man. Reagan came in with the game, man. Reagan had a whole lot to do with the cocaine and everything else, man. Him and Ollie North, all of them. I think the actual the so-called war on drugs and all that shit started with Nixon. No, LBJ, because during that time the Vietnam War was in full effect, and they would transport buku. That's the word they used back then, buku. They were transporting buku loads of heroin back to these United States. Guess who was more addicted to it at the time than anyone else? You guessed right. So in the time of war, they're killing off one set of people over here while poisoning and killing off another where they come from. So yeah, that shit started a long time ago, man. But yeah, Ronald Reagan, man, he helped push it to where they got it to, man. Him and the CIA. Yeah. Oh shit, man. James said, man, how fucked up is it that a strong black man will give any other black man hell, but to everybody else it's, hey, have a good day, miss or sir. That's part of our problem. That's what we own, man. That's the kind of time we own. We own that clown time, man. We on sucker time. We on sucker time with that shit. Raymond Scott said, man, the Memorial Day was in commemoration of the ending of slavery in South Carolina. Ex-slaves memorialized the fallen soldier of the Civil War too, before the Euros thought of it. Okay, that's where it come from. Appreciate it. Like I just said, Hulan. Oh, it's all kind of knowledge up in here. Yeah. Shit. The source is here, man. Thanks, hey Raymond Scott. Thanks for that, bro. Is there more to that? Okay, thanks for that, bro. James said, man, the streets and gangs and further, the California underground politics are what these brothers live and die by. They go hard like them people did for Germany. It's damn near impossible to change them. They rather go look for the so-called enemy instead of helping the first brother or sister they see through empowerment, love, and embracing. That's what it is. And that is the truth. Fat Rat said, man, we lost more lives in LA gang war. Damn, bro. I said what I said earlier, Fat Rat, and I promise you I left that out. I didn't want it to sound dramatic, you know what I mean? But damn, bro, you saying it just means it should have been said. It's supposed to have been said. So thank you for that. You said, man, and this is a reality for those who don't know. We lost more lives in LA gang wars than Vietnam. Vietnam, if I remember correctly, lost over 500,000. No, hold on. Let me take that back. 50-something thousand. I've said 500,000, but I know it's more than that. I got to research that. Hold on, bro. I remember that. It got to be more than 50,000. How many lives were lost? How many lives were lost in the Vietnam War? U.S. soldiers in the Vietnam War, lives were lost. Okay, I was 500 was a lot. 58,220 fatal casualties. All right, I'm glad I dropped it down to 50. I don't know why it's 500,000. I'm thinking about maybe the Civil War, because that could have been 500,000. How many lives were lost in the U.S. Civil War? Aha, there you go. All right, good. 620,000 in Civil War. 60,000 lives lost in the Vietnam War. We've lost more than that. Brothers and sisters. Fighting for what? Fat Rat said, man, listen, man, we lost more lives in LA gang wars than Vietnam. Wrong cause, but the pain of those losses is no less real. So it's respect to the dead. IMO on Memorial Day. I don't know what IMO means, but and let me first say, let me clarify something. Yeah, I think that it was all for naught, but nonetheless, those lives were lost. And yeah, we all have lost loved ones to this senseless get down, man. I'm not disregarding the fact that that did occur. I just, again, the cause, the reason, the purpose of this shit, man, does not make any sense. That's, that's what I'm against. That's what I'm against. So I thank you for correcting me in that respect as well, Fat Rat. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. And again, that go out to all you brothers and sisters who've lost loved ones, in these senseless wars that have no real purpose or direction, future behind them. I'm one. Appreciate you though, bro. James said, man, fat rat playboy. I don't care what nobody. Those are our people, our warriors and soldiers, comrades, loved ones to the heart. And to me, they all kings and queens. Rest in peace, one. I don't care what nobody say. Yeah, we understood that. Got you, bro. C1 said, man, blood family in the chat. Please make sure Uncle checks his emails. Urgent. Also help him with Instagram. There is someone important that would love to meet and greet with y'all. Uncle knows about it. All right, Queen. I'm gonna get on that. And I know since you put that in there, the missus ain't gonna let me neglect that or forget it. So thank you. I got you. Respect and love to everyone. Crips, Pyrus, the whole get down. Sam Evans said, man, a black nation. That's the problem, y'all, in terms of how we carry ourselves and what we say, how we word it. It really has more weight. There's an actual connection, lawfully speaking, when you use phrases like, or words in the real sense, a black nation or the black nation, as opposed to a black race or the black race. There's a whole lot more attached to that, man, than, the black nation has more weight than the black race. All right. Yeah. Like you say, hey, Hulan, appreciate you for acknowledging, man. I appreciate being here. Trust that. I appreciate being here, man. You say over 1,000 active Ebola cases currently in full effect. 18 patients have escaped after burning down 2 medical facilities in Africa. And that's another thing about us, man. We don't care about nobody but ourselves, man. Folks say, man, I'm in and out, but I see you two spitting game and truth. James 1972 and my brother Fat Rat, man. Sometimes we just have to listen up. Much love and respect to y'all both. There it is. All right, Patrick Morris said, man, paying my respect to the big homies. I hope all is going well. Hey, Patrick Morris, man. Mornings, man. Appreciate you being in here. The fact that you even showed up is a good look. All right. This is Under the Groove Podcast for everybody in here, man. Look, Monday through Friday, all right? This is where we get it in, man, and we touch bases with the people. We have learned to agree to disagree and keep it respectful and full of love. Good to see you up in here, Patrick, man, and hopefully you'll join us again tomorrow night, all right? Appreciate that. Midtown Pookie, where you been, man? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. All right, everybody, I'm going to do what I do, man. The truth always, sun filtered. The truth always sun filtered. All right, there you go. Does the host like getting ain't that something, y'all? All right, let's get rid of him. We'll make sure he never comes back. All right, bye. All right, Hulan say, man, YouTube algorithm bless my timeline with UTG podcast after watching multiple Jack 5, the homie Poke and T Blue rap videos. All right. That might be the end then. It might be still shadow banned to some extent, but shoot, might have to go check out some hood videos or set videos, to catch the wave, man. I got you, see what I'm gonna read that thing as soon as I get up off this, all right? Fat Rat say, congratulations on that work, bub. You're on your way. You're on your way back at it. It's so important. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it made me feel a certain way. I did chest today. I'm saying, okay, man. Ooh. Yeah, it felt good though. It felt good. I gotta say, man, I forgot that feeling. It's been, and I'm gonna be straight up, man. It's been since like shit, September, October, since I've done anything, that would include a push-up, you know. Well, wait a minute. I might have did some push-ups back in November or December. But other than that, I ain't did shit, So appreciate that, Fat Rat. I'm back on it, man. Hopefully, stay focused, man. Get it in. Fat Rat said, man, we are not qualified, resource, informed, or susceptible to the requisite guidance. This problem has global implications, bub. Having the right spirit is but one step on a 1,000-mile journey. You always come hard, bro. You always come hard, bro. We are not qualified, resource, informed, or susceptible to the requisite guidance. All right. This problem has global implications, bub. Having the right spirit is but one step on a 1,000-mile journey. Appreciate you, bro. Real shit. Jay said, I'm in here, bub, Ben, because of how you represent your blackness. And that is what gravitates me, the raw and conscious black mind that knows, sees, and hears all and only the truth to set us free. One, appreciate you up in here, bro. Empty Tomb say, bless you, bro. Bless you right back, man. Peace and prosperity, you and yours, for even showing up in here, man. Again, Under the Groove Podcast. Appreciate you, man. You have touch bases with the people. Hope to see you back here, all right? 6:15 to 8:15, this is how we do. Empty Tomb, all right. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. All right, everybody, it's time, man. It's time. I got to go. The grandkids, they'll forgive me. They understand. So they say, oh, man, I'll be on TV. They get a kick out of it, man. They sit there and they watch it, man. I love it, man. I love it. But more than anything, man, part of this drive has to do with them. I don't want them to just sit there and Pop on TV. What did you hear Pop say? What did you get from that? You know what I mean? That's what I would like for this to lead to, discussions with them in terms of their lives, their future, and their obligation to the Black nation. That's what I hope for. That's what I push for. All right. That being said, man, peace and prosperity to each and every one of you, man. We are Under the Groove. This is Under the Groove Podcast. We've been touching bases with the people, keeping everything above board, man. There's a saying there that goes, listen, man, love yourself, man. There is the capacity, and more than that, to love your brother and sister. You take care of yourself, you'll do more than take care of your brother and sister. It's all love, man, and respect. It's about unity, man. The Black nation needs each and every one of us, man. Let's do our part, all right? That being said, power is in the people. You got to know that. Don't have faith in it. Don't trust it. Work at it. Put in that work. Power is in the people. How you put in that work, man? It's in there. You got to extract it out. Make it happen, man. Put it to work. Power is in the people. You are, you have been, and you will be Under the Groove. One love, everybody. Black Fist held high. All right.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, hearse the right of future history. From the Apollo to the borough to the sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transformed suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant is once a less than. Actors, hats, and mistakes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive, watch to the applause. for polls. Need your data, trolls and constantly problem when the wetches wanna build the season bait. Now don't get the pause. It's just erasing up the times, pleading walking soft the main. Naked on the fans, turning neck and love the durn. Suffers like a kisher. You were wrong to preaching up on side his heat. You'll unbitch on the shit and untrue seeing vet someone that buried it's on Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the bound of in. You wait something for the marker, make the kitchen full the club and saw the bloods to the sang of land is carried open slowly. Keep us looking on my mother, break your chair and resi more than he and let the peasant be. It's every time we keep a spawn.